Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to our new show, Hi Vibin It. We're super excited to be here with you guys, talking about everything that's going to help you raise your vibration, aka feel better and live your best life. My name is Kelsey Aida. I am a co-host here for Hi Vibin It, and I am an inspirational blogger and author here to help people own their power and win at life. More specifically, most people call me a manifestation coach or law of attraction expert. I also teach a lot about self-love and just anything that I've learned along my path that's helped me a lot. I want to share with everyone because I have a natural teacher in me. So that's me. And Lynnsey, why don't you go ahead and give a brief little description, even though I know we're going to dive more into this later, both of our backstories. But what do you do? Tell everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everyone. I'm so excited. This is our first inaugural show, and I can't wait for showing up, with you guys every week and talking more about how to raise your mindset, raise your vibes, and just get what you want. I'm a hypnotherapist, so I work primarily with the subconscious mind and what drives your behavior and kind of runs in the background as you live your life. So, those limiting beliefs or blocks that might be coming up that you don't know where they come from, I'm the person that kind of helps you figure that stuff out and, release the stuff that's just not working so you can make way for the subconscious patterns and thought behaviors that you actually want to have. So that's a little about me, and I cannot wait to get started. So in the beginning of the show, I kind of want to direct it a little more towards you, Kels. Let's talk about you and how you got into where you are now, how you got into what you do.
Yeah, so basically how I got into the whole personal development, self-help industry and became a teacher was I needed a lot of help myself. And basically when I was around 17-ish, I kind of fell into a huge depression. And surprisingly, a lot of people didn't know that I was depressed because I had what they call dysthymia depression. So it's like a functional depression where you can still go to school and hold a job, but on the inside you're dying. So I went through 3 years of that struggle. And when I finally had enough and it came to the point of okay, I can't keep living like this. Literally my options are I'm either going to take my own life because this is shitty and I don't want to live like this forever, or I'm going to find a way to feel better. And I didn't want to feel better with medicine because medicine was kind of what spiraled me into the mess in the first place. So I was
medication?
Yeah. I didn't want to use anything. I wanted to feel better, all natural. So I kind of just put that intention out, universe, I need help. I was seeing a therapist. She wasn't prescribing me anything. She was just helping me talk it out. And she was like, well, if you don't want to take any medicine, I know this holistic doctor, maybe he can help you. And so I went over to him and I told him my story. And as I was talking, he kind of looked at me and he was like, not to undermine what you're going through, and I can tell that it's been really hard for you, but to me, you just seem like a really strong woman and you seem like you're on the end of it. And I feel like you think that you need more help than you actually do. And when he said that and put that idea in my mind that I was strong and I was on the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, you are right. I am a strong woman. I am on the end of this. I am sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And it's my dominant intention to feel better. And so from that day forward, the right people, the right influences, the right books, the right tools all came my way by law of attraction, of course. And then I was able to start feeling better. And the biggest thing that I did that kind of spiraled me into this more high vibe mode was I did this simple thing where I just started a gratitude journal. And every day I would write in this journal and I wasn't used to being grateful for anything because I was depressed. So I was like, fuck my life, everything's stupid, I hate it all, blah, blah, blah. But when I started doing that practice of every day just looking for things, even if they were simple, looking for things to be grateful for. After 3 weeks of doing that, I felt like I really had reprogrammed my thought process and my mind, because depression's kind of like an addiction. You get addicted to those thought patterns and that victim mentality and looking for things that are wrong to justify why you're so sad. And so I was able to kind of reprogram my mind and from there start feeling better. And I just went on this whole self-help kick, personal development whirl. And when I started to feel better, I was like, everybody needs to know how to do these things because it helped me and I know it can help other people. And what else am I going to do with my life except teach things? Like for me, teaching has always come natural. Like when I was in school and I was little, like if kids didn't understand multiplication the day we learned it, and I did, I would teach it to them in like 4 different ways. And then they would be like, oh, I get it. Like I just always had a knack for simplifying and explaining information. And so I don't know, that's just my passion. And from then I was like, I'm going to be this author. And I became like really ambitious, but obviously I didn't have like a following or anyone who was going to read my books. So that's when I started KelseyAida.com and became a blogger. And eventually I did write a book. And so here we are today, fast forward some years later, now I'm 25 and I've been on this journey for a while, and it's just been really, really awesome, up and down, crazy, magical, and all the things.
Yeah. Well, we know each other pretty well. We've known each other for a while, so I know a lot of this stuff already, but you're just, first of all, I just love you. And I think that gratitude is step 1, no matter where you are. Everyone can think of something, and you have gone through the thick of it, you know, and you still could think of things to be grateful for, even if it's just the air in your lungs, you know. So gratitude's huge. I'm glad that you touched on that. So like I said, I know you pretty well. I know we talk a lot, you know, we're soul sisters, obs, but I want to talk about, you know, for those that might not know, the newer sort of abilities that you've kind of uncovered in yourself through your journey. Why don't we talk about that?
Oh yeah, that is pretty interesting. So recently, for those of you who aren't very close to me, which is probably everyone listening to the show, because I know you guys are all over, I have discovered that I have some psychic abilities and some mediumship abilities. Now, this is interesting because I feel like most people who can communicate with spirit, aka talk to dead people, have known this for their whole life. Like, oh, when I was little, I used to have imaginary friends, and I used to see grandpa sitting on the couch, and I used to hear things. Like, I don't have any stories like that. What happened to me was like a little bit over a year ago, I went through a really, really like heart-wrenching breakup with my partner who I had been with for almost 6 years, but he had been in my life for a decade. And at this point that's like almost half my life because I'm so young. And so when I had to move on without him, I was in such emotional turmoil that I was doing the work to heal my heart, heal my emotions, feel better, raise my vibration. And in doing all that heavy emotional work, I started coming into these abilities where I was knowing things about people, and I could do psychometry, which is this cool thing where, I mean, it sounds like a party trick, but basically it's like where you hold an object, or you can even hold someone's hand or a necklace or whatever, and you can see psychically that person's memories or things that they've been through or how they're feeling, and you can pick up on different information that way. And then one of my best friends, James, he's a shaman, like a Native American healer. And of course he has more shaman friends. And so one night I was hanging out with him and another one of his shaman friends. And his friend was like, you know that you're a channel, right? And I was like, please elaborate. What do you mean by channel? I'm intrigued by this word. And he was like, well, you're a channeler. Like when you write your books, you're channeling information from like God or the universe. Like you're the vessel for the message. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And he was like, yeah, and when you dance, like, don't you feel like something is coming through you and it's not like necessarily from you? And I was like, yes, it's totally like that. And I've always been an artist. So I was like, channeler, I can get behind this 100%. And then he was like, but also some channels are mediums, which means that you can channel spirit or people who have passed away or things like that. And I was like, and no. Like, I think at this point in my life, I would know if I could talk to dead people, right? Like, I'm 25. I think I would know. Like, that's something kind of important. So anyway, he told me that. I didn't believe him. I was like, whatever. Channel, cool. I get it. Medium, not down. First of all, that's scary as fuck. Like, I don't want to talk to any dead people. And so I was like, yeah, no thanks. Not for me. It's not real, whatever. And then I had this dream that I was kind of being like summoned to be a medium, because in my dream, I ended up at a cemetery because I got lost and I was traveling by myself, which is very like me, by the way, because I have a horrible sense of direction. So I get lost. I stumble upon this cemetery during the daytime. So it wasn't scary. It was actually very beautiful. There was like mist and it was all green and whatever. So I'm exploring the cemetery because I'm all curious. And then all of a sudden I'm not there anymore. I'm in my bedroom, and there's a bunch of ghosts that followed me back from the cemetery, standing in like a semicircle around my bed. And surprisingly, I wasn't that scared because their energy was like calm. I could tell they didn't want to hurt me or do anything bad. They were just kind of hanging out. How I saw them in my imagination was like see-through people. And they had this intention where they wanted me to tell their loved ones here things like messages like, I love you, we're safe, like it's fine over here, like don't worry about us, that type of thing. And so then I wake up and I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. That's just a dream. Like, go to Pinterest, go on your happy place. I'm really scared of the dark. So I like turn all the lights and I'm like, okay, there's nothing in my room. Like, it's only a dream. It's not real. And then from there, I was like, oh no, like maybe he is right. I'm feeling like this weird feeling like I'm being summoned, right? So then, as the universe would have it, I ran into this mentor a day later, and she's this very intuitive woman. She used to always read my tarot cards, and I really respect her and look up to her. And apparently, she's also a medium. So I had never known this. I tell her about the dream. She tells me, yeah, you probably have the gift. Like, just try it with someone you know. It's not scary. Like, just meditate before, do this, this, and that, and try. So the next day, I was all inspired because she, like, talked me into it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try. And so I basically like called on my grandpa and I was like, Gramps, like, what's up? Let's try this thing. Apparently I'm supposed to be able to talk to you. And I was able to have like a full on conversation with him. And I did this all in my journal because that's how I like to do a lot of my channeling through writing. But yeah, it was crazy. And from that day on, I was like, I was still skeptical. Even after it happened, I was like, yeah, no, I'm just a crazy person. Like, I just made it up in my head. But then the story goes on and on and on. Like, we could do a whole episode about these stories that I have.
Which we will.
Which we probably will. But basically, the moral of the story is I recently came into all these crazy abilities, and it's really fun. But also, I don't really, like, do them for people because I'm still very new to it. So if people learn this about me, they're like, oh, give me a reading. I'm like, well, I can give you a tarot reading because I'm great at that. But I'm not going to, like, guarantee that I can connect with any of your loved ones because I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie medium. That's my life.
Is the channeling ability something that you want to kind of go further with, or are you just going to see where it goes on its own?
I'm mostly just curious to see where it goes on its own, especially with the mediumship, because I'm like intrigued by it, but I don't feel like it's my life purpose. I feel like it's like an extra thing. But the channeling, yes, because when I write books and I bring through messages on my Instagram story, I feel like I'm connecting to something greater, and that's where the advice and the wisdom is coming from. And that I am very interested in and very much wanting to cultivate and do more of.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about my grandma, someday. It's happening.
I mean, I can practice with you. You are my friend, so it's more safe space.
It's safer. So let's talk about the stuff that you've been able to I know you're huge in law of attraction. You're really big in like manifesting. You're kind of an expert in that field. So let's talk about the ways that you've been able to help others manifest and how you've been able to manifest things yourself.
Yeah. So when I started feeling better, I don't even remember how I got introduced to the concept of manifesting in the law of attraction, but me being like a perfectionist control freak who wants to like control everything in order to feel safe, I was like, oh, I can create my own reality. Like, this is the best thing ever. Like, I get to be even more of a control freak and like micromanage all my experiences. Like, I was coming from basically like an ego place, but it still worked for me. Like, no doubt about that. And so I started using the law of attraction to manifest friends and to manifest clients and to manifest just good days and free like drinks and just little things here and there. And then it became big things like my boyfriend and my home and 2 cars and vacations and like fun things and also really important things. So since I got good at manifesting, I really wanted to teach it to everyone because I'm like, this is the funnest way to get what you want. Everybody needs to know how to do this. And so, yeah, I've helped people manifest some crazy things. Like, I helped my ex manifest being on a reality TV show, which like propelled his career. I helped someone manifest a $100,000 scholarship to get into a school that they wanted to get into. I've helped a lot of people manifest partners, soulmates, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, that type of thing. I've helped people manifest their dream jobs. That's a really fulfilling thing to help people get. Pretty much anything you could desire, I've helped people manifest. And most people want the usual, like love, money, freedom, fulfilling career, friends.
Can you take a sec and just tell the headphone story, please? I need people to hear this story because it's probably my favorite.
The Disneyland headphone story?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys have to understand that me and Lynnsey are like best friends. If you couldn't tell already, we'll get into that more later. But basically, she knows all my stories. So this story is one of the best stories. And it was when I was with my ex and we went to Disneyland a lot because I used to live in Southern California. And we were in line waiting for Space Mountain, which was like his favorite, but it's always like a 90-minute line. So we were waiting in line, waiting. And I was already happy because I love Disney. And I was like, yay, today's so fun. The only thing that could make this moment better is if I could listen to some Abraham Hicks while I wait here in line and just like get all inspired. But I didn't have headphones. So I was like, man, I don't have any headphones. So I guess I'm not gonna be rude and just like listen to it. So like 2 minutes passes by. I'm like, whatever, it's over. The dream is killed. And my boyfriend leans down to like take a break from standing and being on his feet. And he is like, ow, there's something in my pocket. And he stands up, opens his pocket and pulls out a pair of headphones. And he looks at them all confused. And he looks at me and he's like, are you a witch? Because he had them in there for literally a year. He had washed his pants. They had been in there. He'd never noticed. Like, they have been in there. He never needed them. He never noticed until this day. So the universe had already answered what I needed before I even needed it. And I also freaked the fuck out of my boyfriend because he was like, what is this witchery? And I just smiled like, oh, the irony.
I love that story. And it is so common that's the universe knows what you want. It's just waiting for you to decide, right? And that's like the perfect example. Like, we're just going to keep these headphones here until you decide that you need them. But don't worry, they're there.
Yeah, and once you get your vibration high enough and you get good enough at this, like all it takes is a slight preference in order for a manifestation to occur. Like I was just casual about wanting some headphones and then boom, instant. Like they were already there before I even needed them.
I love it. That is actually the perfect place to take a pause, take a break. Thank you guys so much for joining us so far on the first third of our show. And we will be right back with some more high vibe stuff. I'll get to tell you a little bit about myself and more about manifesting and hypnosis. See you soon.
You are listening to Vibin It with Kelsey Aida and Lynnsey Robinson. Check into the show today by calling into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. Or send an email to hi.vibin.it.show@gmail.com. That's hi.vibin.it.show@gmail.com. Now, back to the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's Kelsey Aida here, and I just got finished telling a really funny story about the one time when I manifested headphones instantaneously so that I could listen to Abraham Hicks, who is a manifestation teacher that I like to listen to. But anyway, I have like a bajillion million stories about that I'm sure we will get into as this show keeps unfolding every week. But I want to turn the attention over to Lynnsey because we need to know what you're all about. The audience wants to know how you can help them, how you got into this. So let's start with, how did you get started on this journey and why are you here?
Well, I'm here because you're super fun and I like to talk to you. But what led me to this moment is a ton of awesome and not so awesome stuff. So I was always like, when you mentioned, first of all, the cemetery, I immediately had a flashback as a child of just, I would love to just like go walk in the cemetery, because where I grew up in the Midwest, the cemeteries are freaking beautiful. And they're from like the 1800s and they're just so pretty and there's this beautiful tree. And I was always that kid who like, as a child, I would go through the cemetery and try to like figure out how people died, like with my mind. I know. I mean, I was not too far off a couple times. And then I'd go to our local library and go up into the attic where they had all the newspaper archives. I grew up in Michigan, so it's like super like, I lived in a very historic town. And I would read the newspaper and try to find them, their obituary and how they died, and just like verify what I thought was real. And I had Ouija boards. Did you ever have a Ouija board?
No, I don't fuck with that shit.
Okay, well, as a kid, I had the glow in the dark one so that I can make it extra dark when I did it. I was always like into that stuff, but my mom was for a while too. So I think that's maybe where I got it from. But then I got a super Christian boyfriend who made me get rid of my Ouija board. Anyway, that's a long story. But I was always into, like, at the time, I was super attracted to like the paranormal and the supernormal and the metaphysical. But I channeled it in like all the ways, like ghost hunting, like EMF recording and all that stuff. And then when I got when I got into my like early 20s, I kind of just forgot about it all, but it was always very, like, I studied forensic psychology because I wanted to be like a psychologist and figure out the mind of a serial killer. Like, it all started pretty, like, my first roommate, if she's listening, she's gonna laugh, but my first roommate when I got to LA thought I was a serial killer for like a good for like a good week, until we both like connected on the fact that we love NSYNC and Justin Timberlake. So we kind of forgot about it and became best friends. But for a minute, she was afraid I was gonna like find her in her sleep, which is so funny. She's like hilarious. But anyway, I was very, like, I had all the encyclopedias of serial killers. I had all the, like, I loved it. I loved how the mind worked and what makes it do what it does and what makes people think the way they think and operate the way they operate. I've always been into that. So fast forward to when I'm 26, 27, I just had my first son. And I decided I didn't want to go back to working 50 hours, 60 hours a week for like someone else. And it was the first time I'd ever really stopped to ask myself, what do I want to do with my life? Because that's the first time it seemed worth it or relevant to me. Before, I was very much pay the bills, figure out what works right now, figure out, you know, how to be independent and live your life, which involved working for someone else for a really long time. Probably some of you can relate. But I stopped, I asked myself, what is it that I want to do? What is my passion? And I forgot, oh my gosh, I love the mind. I love the workings of the mind. How can I do that? I'm 26. I have a child. I've always been into hypnosis. It kind of flickered in my mind as like, oh, hypnosis, because I had some experience with it. But then I kind of had that voice in my head that's, you've heard this story before, but try to act, you know, like you haven't now. Be like, oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, she's heard this story a million times, but I heard the voice that's like, no. That's for someone else to do. You can't do that. You have to do the easy thing. You have to do the thing that everybody's doing. Go back to your retail job. Go back to being a manager. Go do this, go do that. And then I kind of, for the first time again in my life, asked, well, why not? Why can't I do that? Why does it have to be someone else? Who decides what they do with their lives and who doesn't get to decide? And I made that choice that I was going to be the one that decided what I'm going to do, after I made sure my husband was okay with it. So the same day that I looked into the Hypnosis Institute that I wanted to go to, shout out HMI, I ended up enrolling the same day because I knew there were too many, quote, coincidences that we know are not coincidences that happen to lead you to the path that you're supposed to be on. And the location of the school, which was right down the street from where I was working my job at the time, and I'd never noticed it before. The first time I saw it was when I did a Google search and saw it there, and I was just like, what? It's right down the street. There's no way that's a coincidence. Los Angeles is a big place, okay? There's no way that's a coincidence. So it didn't take much for me, and I had the full support of my wonderful husband, so I did it. I went for it, and I am still learning, but I have thousands of client sessions and hundreds of continuing education hours. And I'm still learning every day. And I've never lost that passion for hypnosis. And it's like, what did it take for me to ask that question? It took the desire to stay home and to make my own hours and create my own career, because I just had this new tiny human in my life that I didn't want to leave for ridiculous hours, of the week. So I wanted to be there for him to grow up and do what I love. And it's so funny because even as I tell that story, the doing what I love comes second. I still couldn't even make it the first thing, But I got there. In the end, I did get there. And I'm so grateful and I'm so happy that I get to see these light bulb moments and these aha moments with people that I work with every day. And when they realize that, oh, I get to be happy and have it all. Like I get to do this and it can be easier than it is now. It's fantastic. And I haven't lost that passion for the subconscious, and I use it every day. It's amazing. I love it. Did I answer?
Well, it is very applicable. Yeah, you did answer the question. And it made me think of another question. So I know a lot of people listening are probably not too familiar with what hypnosis is or how it works. And they've only seen like stage shows where people get hypnotized and start like clucking like a chicken and stuff like that. So can you like explain it and break it down and legitimize it for us?
Yes, this, like I always say, I'm going to make it short and sweet, but I don't think it ends up that way. We'll see how this goes. So first of all, stage hypnosis and clinical hypnosis are, I'd say, cousins, but they're definitely not the same thing. It still involves the same process, but there are a few factors that I'm sure maybe some people have heard that make it a completely different thing. One is the person on the stage knows who to look for. If I went tomorrow and did stage hypnosis, I would know exactly who to look for to come up on stage, because I know that person is going to be very suggestible and receptive to the hypnotic suggestions I'm going to give. So let's say, I see a person in the crowd whose eyes are glazing over and are just nodding at everything I say. That's the person I'm going to pick, because I know that they're already kind of in hypnosis already because of the show that I'm putting on. So I call them up. They're on the stage. They're looking out at the crowd, and I say to them, they're watching everybody looking back at them. And I say to them, okay, when I say 3, 2, 1, 0, you're going to close your eyes and fall down and go to sleep. 3, 2, 1, 0. They're going to do it. Why? Because there's people looking at them expecting them to do it, and they're already a little bit in trance. So completely different thing. I'm not the type to go into stage hypnosis, but I have a lot of respect for those performers that do. It's just a different animal. It's a different thing. So, with clinical hypnosis, it's first, what you need to understand is we all have a subconscious mind. And in that subconscious mind are our automatic behaviors that make us who we are as people. So language, hand gestures, writing, breathing, some of the bodily functions are definitely automatic. Driving, riding a bike, all of these things are just automatic. That includes some of our thought patterns. Based on experiences we've had before or things that we've learned in the past, we've developed these thought patterns. So when you want something in the conscious mind that just isn't vibing or that doesn't line up with what the subconscious has in there already, it's just not going to get in. It's not going to get through, and it's just not going to happen until the subconscious, which by the way is 90%, 88 to 90% of your mind power. So it's the boss. It's the big boss. If it's not okay with the subconscious, it's just not happening. So you have to get, both sides of your mind on the same page in order to achieve whatever you want. So any goal that you have, you need that cohesiveness between the two minds. And that's all hypnosis does. So it creates, let's just picture this metaphor. So we're at a nightclub in Ohio, where you are. We went to an Ohio nightclub. There's a bouncer at the door, and he will not let us in because it's like at capacity or whatever. And so with hypnosis, just picture the hypnosis as like a $50 or $100 bill that tips the bouncer and gets it to like step away for a second so that we can get into the club. And just, the club is the subconscious mind. So we're tipping the bouncer. We're getting into the subconscious without its permission, but with its permission, because the only thing stopping it is this thing called a critical filter, where it kind of separates the conscious 10% and the subconscious 90%. So if you have a thought or a goal or something you want to achieve, it has to check in with the critical filters, and the subconscious mind decides if it's going to get in or not. Same thing. So with hypnosis, we just kind of create a pathway through the critical filter, get in there, and then make those positive changes and create new neural pathways that align with what you actually want to get out of life instead of what you've been kind of playing on repeat your whole life.
Perfect. So basically people come to you. Yeah, that was good. So basically people come to you when they want something and it's not happening, because whether they realize it or not, there's a block in their subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes people know, but sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they're like, I know I have a mental block because I self-sabotage, because I procrastinate, because I'm a perfectionist, because whatever reason. Or because, you know, I've had people come to me and say, my parents taught me about money. They said this and this and this, and I know that's what's stopping me. Okay, perfect. That makes my job a little bit easier. But then some people won't know, and that's okay too, because it's in there. Whatever the answer is, whether you consciously know it or not, it is in there. And I just help you in a very relaxed and comfortable way to get in there and figure out what's not working anymore. It's really fun.
So just for the listeners knowing, where I work with people more on like a broader scale, I write books and create digital courses and have this blog. Lynnsey actually does work with clients one-on-one. So she's a certified hypnotherapist who does this as like her thing. So can you tell us more about, like, give us an interesting case study of something that happened recently where somebody came to you for hypnosis and you were able to help them achieve what they wanted?
Okay. Well, when you're talking about interesting, I'm like, okay, interesting with a past life, interesting with a spirit guide, interesting with a manifesting thing. So like, what kind of interesting? I got a ton of interesting.
Let's go with the manifesting, because I think people are really interested in that.
Okay. So let's see. What is one that I really should have thought of one before this? Let me think. I'd say the one that pops out to me right now is it. Well, okay. So I'm running. In the past few months, I've been running like monthly money groups. So it's a group hypnosis experience. It's pretty new to me because I haven't done a lot of groups, but it's been so fun. And I had one wonderful woman just manifest money out of her, whatever, out of every outlet she could imagine or that she could like think of. It was coming to her. And I would get emails at like 9 o'clock at night, like, oh my God, I just got this. I just checked my mail and I have like $1,000 in my PayPal account. And every single time it would get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we only worked together for 6 weeks. This is a 6-week program. But like it started off like, well, I got this discount at, you know, my car maintenance guy and I got to save this amount of money. Okay, perfect. That counts. Am I right? That counts. Any discounts, any rebates, anything that you thought you were going to pay for but didn't is essentially manifesting that amount of money. So it started off as discounts and things like that. And then it was just like, she had this small business with a what was it? Essential oils, multi-level marketing, something. I don't remember what the name of it is, but she would get sales like in her sleep, and she hadn't made sales in months. And she didn't have like super high expectations for the money block thing, because I get it. Hypnosis is like, it's not quite mainstream yet, which I am sad about, but it's getting there. So when people think of hypnosis, they're like, well, this would be really great if it worked. I'm just not quite sure if it works. And they don't know until they experience it and get to experience all these amazing results. But so she didn't have super high hopes, but, or expectations. So she started off with discounts and rebates, and then it came up to, these sales in the middle of the night. And then at the end of the 6 weeks, she more than paid for the investment in the group. And the cool thing is she didn't even have to worry about or stress about money, because those limiting beliefs that got her into the group weren't there anymore by the time she left the group. So she left with so much more. And that's like pretty average, I would say, because the results, depending on your subconscious, how programmed your subconscious is to what you want, then the results start to kind of snowball. I had one woman manifest a car. And I know you said that, but that's pretty amazing, because that was my first time having somebody, it was like such a cool thing, because it's like an actual material like thing you can sit in and drive around, and you're like, I manifested this. Like, imagine the pride. Like, that's so cool. I manifested this house without a doubt. I definitely did. It's too specific to what I want in order for it not to be something that I completely manifested. But manifestation hypnosis is something that I kind of accidentally stumbled into, but it's definitely more in line with where I want to go. Manifestation hypnosis and spiritual hypnosis, my two absolute favorites.
Okay, so briefly, before we go to commercial break, can you summarize the different types of hypnosis? Because I know you said there were a few.
Okay, dude, there's like thousands.
Oh, did not know.
I'm pretty sure I just made up manifestation hypnosis, because it really can be whatever you want, because as long as you can, if it's in the mind and it's something you want, then there's hypnosis for that. So manifestation, law of attractions, if you want to connect with your spirit guides, there's hypnosis. Connect to a past life, there's hypnosis. Stop smoking, weight loss. I mean, oh my gosh, if you want to feel better about yourself, be more confident, you know, manifest a relationship, which I guess is still manifesting, but it's enhance a current relationship. It's anything that you want in your mind, you can have hypnosis for it, because it's really just an altered state of mind that you go into every single day. As a human person, you go into hypnosis every day, and we're just triggering it when you decide that you want it in order to put in those positive suggestions for change. So manifestation hypnosis, I think I just made up, but I'm going with it because it works every time. It's fantastic.
Well, yeah, everybody has desires and everybody has things that they want. And if your mind is not on board, then that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Energetically, it's not going to be able to happen. It's going to be blocking you all the time, and you're going to be stopping yourself. So I think what you do is super important. I know that what we do, it goes hand in hand. So I'm super excited that we're doing this show together. And yeah, hypnosis is badass. You guys, Lynnsey has done hypnosis with me before, and we went into one of my past lives, and it was crazy.
That will have to be another show too. Oh my gosh, we're already like 5 shows in with everything that we need to talk about.
I know. I think we just came up with like 10 more shows that we need to add just from starting this one.
Oh my God, it's so fun. It really is though. Like, I mean, talking to you, I never knew how aligned we were when we first started talking. But the more we talk and the more we got to know each other, I realized, oh my gosh, we are the same. We're the same. You're just on a different side of the coin, but it's the same coin.
Because of the law of attraction.
Exactly.
That's why we're together. So yeah, let's tell them the story of how we met after the commercial break. And we will also be diving into what you guys as listeners are going to learn from this show.
Yeah, what you can expect and all of your mind power. Woohoo!
We'll see you guys on the other side of this break.
Okay, you're clear?
Good. I bet the sound guy's like, wow, these ladies are so weird. Yes, we are.
Bunch of weirdos.
I'm glad that I was able to fill up the time.
Yeah.
Good question asking on your part, my dear. And you can hear me okay? Is it like too loud or too quiet? It's pretty good.
No, I think I'm yelling because I'm wearing noise canceling headphones and I'm like,
Okay, don't do that, but then you'll be
A
fine.
good trick for that is if you take one of the cups and take it slightly off your ear.
Yeah.
That way you'll hear the room noise along with your microphone noise.
But I think for the rest of the episode, I should just be loud because I already was.
Just to be congruent.
But next time, I will do that.
And you don't need to take it all the way off. You can just move it back slightly so you're getting a little bit of that room noise, and it makes a huge difference.
Word. I feel like my parents on the phone because they like get on the phone and they're on speaker and they're like, wow, like yelling. And I'm like, dude, this technology, it works. Like you don't have to scream. They can hear you on the other end.
Yeah. Dude.
I'm turning into an old person.
Stop it.
Sorry. I know that makes you feel bad about yourself.
No, I feel great. I actually do feel great.
Good.
All right, here we go. Coming back.
Okie dokie. Are you ready?
You are listening to Hi Vibin It with Kelsey Aida and Lynnsey Robinson. Check into the show today by calling into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. Or send an email to hi.vibin.it.show@gmail.com. Now, back to the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Kelsey Aida here, and Lynnsey is here with me as well. We just finished talking a little bit about me, a little bit about her, how we're here to serve you guys, what we do, and we wanted to touch a little bit on our backstory as friends, just so you guys know our dynamic and how we got introduced to each other, and now how we are hosting a show together. So I like when Lynnsey tells this story, so go ahead and take over.
About how we met?
Yeah.
Okay, so when was it? 2017?
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years ago.
2017, yeah. It does not feel like 2 years ago. It feels like 10 years ago, but that's fine. So I was doing this summit, this online summit, which is basically a conference with speakers, and I was enrolling all of these people to speak on their expert topics. And it was just a nice, fun online event to get to know different alternative ways of thinking and different people. I had a feng shui, and she was my manifesting. Kelsey was my manifesting girl, because I knew I wanted somebody to talk about that. And I don't know to this day, because she's asked me before, how did you find me? Was it Google? Was it, Facebook? Was it Instagram? And I was like, I don't know. I think I just Googled.
Was it the universe?
It was the universe. Exactly. The universe was like, here, I'll do this one for you. So I just sent her a quick email, and I got a response, and she was so energetic and so excited to talk with me. So I just basically asked her about what she does and how it works, kind of like what we were talking about now. And then we spent like another hour on the phone after the interview, just like talking. And then it just became normal for us to like call each other once a week or once every few days to kind of talk to each other. We've never ever met in real life. I just want people to like, let's be clear here. We've never been in the same room together, but it's so funny because like with the world of technology and like how the reach of people, how far it can be. I mean, I feel like I know her so well. We do know each other so well.
We do. And it's crazy. I think it's just hilarious still that we haven't met in real life, because when we first met online and did the summit, and it was like a great first date / interview, essentially. She interviewed me about manifesting, and we just like hit it off, and we were like, we're twins. We love all the same things, blah, 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 whatever. And I was living in San Diego at the time, and she was living in Los Angeles, and we never met up. It's not like they're far apart from each other either.
Well, to be fair, we met each other like right before I moved to here in Vegas.
Yeah.
So and now I'm in Vegas. And
Columbus, Ohio. And so now we're super far. But yeah, the hilarious thing is we've never actually met in person. And like a year into our relationship, I somehow found out how tall Lynnsey is. And by tall, I mean small, because she's a very small person. I thought I was small. I'm 5'4"-ish. And then you told me, how tall are you? You're like 5?
Look, I'm 4'11" and a half.
Okay.
I'm a pocket person.
She's a pocket person.
Yes.
And that just goes to show that we're like best friends, but I've never actually seen what she looks like in person, aside from like videos. And we're always sitting down.
Yeah. And the way you know that we're friends is because, look, there's only a couple people, including my husband, who I will ever let see me like just in the morning without makeup on. Or like without my hair done. And today, I don't think it was the first time, but today in particular, Kelsey saw me with just showered hair, no makeup. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? That's a good friend. Because I obviously trust her enough to see my bare face.
That's love right there. I mean, I call you all the time when I'm like in tears, a mess. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
And I don't like to cry in front of too many people, because vulnerability is something that I'm working on, to say the least. But anyway, back to the topics that people are actually interested in.
Yeah.
So what you guys are going to learn on this show. Basically, since we're both kind of people who help people learn how to manifest the things that they want, obviously the law of attraction and manifestation are going to be huge topic points. I was going to say topping points or something. Huge points of topic that we are going to be talking about every week or every other week or whenever. So manifestation, the law of attraction, energy, attracting what you want, getting the right mindset. But it's not just about mindset. It's about your vibration, which has a lot to do with your emotions. So we're also going to be talking a lot about how to let your emotions live so that you are not practicing a state of resistance, which resistance is always what's blocking any sort of manifestation. Just like how you said, if the subconscious is resisting, if your emotions are resisting, if your vibration doesn't match the vibration of the thing that you want. So we're going to be teaching you guys all about that. Obviously, we're going to be doing some fun hypnosis stuff. We are going to help you guys to basically just feel better and create your life with more deliberate intention. We're all about creating your life by design and doing things with consciousness, purpose, and intention.
Absolutely. So to jump off of that point, yeah. So it's kind of like she's talking about energy, your vibration, your alignment with what you want, which that does live in the subconscious. So that's huge with my work. That's huge with Kelsey's work. How you perceive things is huge. Gratitude. We're going to just teach you all these different ways to figure it out, because, you know, nobody has all the answers, but everybody has part of the answer. And all we're here to do is offer you, through our journeys and our expertise and what we've learned in life, what works for us. And hopefully it works for you too. And like she said, there's a ton of quick little visualizations we can do. And we look forward to getting to know the listeners a little bit better and getting some questions from them on occasion, so that we can pinpoint and be specific in our answers with anybody who's wondering specific questions about hypnosis or manifesting in their specific experience and in their personal life, you know, things that are going on with them, so that we can kind of laser in on them and give them the most authentic answer. So we look forward to getting to know all you guys and offering the knowledge that we can offer.
Yeah, and if you have, sorry, what did you say?
I just said we're pretty good at it so far.
Oh, yeah, I like to think so. We help people. I was going to say, if you have any questions or topics of shows that you would like to hear, definitely send us an email, because we're open to feedback or elaborating on a question that you have. A lot of my blog posts on kelseyaida.com are inspired by blog readers who email me with their questions. And a lot of times I get the same question over and over. And so I'll write a blog post about it or whatever. So that's a really good way to get the information that you would like extracted from us to you. In addition to hypnosis, law of attraction, manifesting, we're going to be talking a lot about self-love, because it matters a lot and it's not as sexy as manifesting. But when I put it like this, you are going to think it is as sexy as manifesting. Why? Because everybody wants to manifest a bomb-ass relationship, and you can only do that when you have a bomb-ass relationship with yourself first. Because when you're your own soulmate and you love yourself unconditionally, that's when you can manifest a partner who is going to treat you the same.
Yeah.
So really, my new course that's called Radical Self-Love should be called How to Manifest Your Soulmate, because once you start to love yourself, that's when you become a vibrational match to people who love you. And that's when you attract your soul tribe and soulmates and partners and friends and community and all that good stuff. So we're definitely going to be talking about self-love, because that's really important. Also, emotional mastery, and by mastery, I just mean making all your feelings okay to feel, validating your own feelings, self-soothing. These are really, really, really helpful life tools that I've been getting good at, because I've been practicing them a lot lately, so I love to teach on them. Feng Shui, I'm obsessed with Feng Shui, and I know a lot about it, so we'll definitely do some episodes about that. Lynnsey is a mom of 3 adorable boys, so I'm sure at some point we'll be talking about conscious parenting and how to like fuck up your kids the least amount that you can, because it's inevitable that they're gonna have some kind of trauma. But as a parent, a conscious parent, you can do your best to like make sure it's, you know, not too much, hopefully.
Yeah. Lessen the screw up as much as possible. Yeah.
Yes.
And guys, I'm so excited about the lineup of shows we have. I can't even, like, we were going over our list of shows and we're just like, and then we'll do this, and we're going to talk about this. Oh my gosh, and I can't wait to talk about this. Like, there's so many things that I can't wait to talk about. Dreams and how to figure out what they mean, and handwriting analysis, and why it is actually a thing to pay attention to, and everything that kind of, you know, goes into us as people, and how we just, you know, you just want to get through life with the least amount of pain as possible and the most amount of happiness as possible. And these are the ways that we figured out to do that. And I cannot wait to share it with everybody and get to know you all as well. Yay.
Yeah, we're super happy to have this show. To be here with you guys is just another way to connect with you. We both have blogs. So Lynnsey's is at lynnseyrobinson.com. Mine is kelseyaida.com. So we're always posting blog posts about all of these topics that we're talking about right now. And we both help you guys with different ways aside from this show. So if you want to work with Lynnsey, like, reach out to her. If you want to work with me, the best way to do that is to go on my website and look through some of my courses, or to read my book. And yeah, so we're here to serve you. So if you have ideas of things you want to know about, talk about, hear us talk about, definitely email us, and we're here to just be like the vessels and the channels to give you the advice and the wisdom and the information that you need when you need it, because that's just always how it works, thanks to the law of attraction.
Yeah. And we all have a ton of, like she was saying, we all have a ton of really, really good ideas, but they're just our ideas. We'd love to know what your ideas are. And if you just want one episode of us just talking about what we ate for dinner last night, you know what?
We'll do it.
We're going to talk about. Hopefully you want to know a little more than that. But yeah, like she said, I'm a mom, so I have a ton of mom stories, and I'll, probably drop some mom stories in every once in a while, hopefully for the other moms listening, or even if you want to be a mom, I can tell you why it's amazing and why it's not so amazing. So there's just so much stuff. I'm glad that we have this voice to get to talk to you all, for those that really, really need us, because all you can ever hope for at the end of the day is that you are there for the right people at the right time. So that's really all that we're shooting for in this show. And hopefully you learn a lot along the way. I know you will, but it's going to be so fun.
That's why we're here. We just really want to help you guys to live your most fulfilling life. So whatever that looks like to you, everyone has different desires. Everyone has different needs. Everyone's version of thriving and success looks different, but there are a lot of the same ways and techniques and practices to help you get there. So that's what we're here to teach you guys every week. So make sure you're tuning in every week, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we will be here talking about all things mystical and magical and spiritual and energetic, whatever perspective you want to see it from. That's what we're going to approach it as. And like for me, when I think of the law of attraction and energy, like I call it magic, and I say it's magical and sparkly and all these things because I'm a girl and I'm into that. But at the same time, like it can all be explained from the point of view of quantum physics.
Yes.
Science. Is it spirituality, or is science just a way to explain spirituality? That's how I like to think of it. So yeah, that's what we're here to talk about.
It's all the same thing. So what are we going to talk about next week?
That's a great question. Probably manifesting.
Manifesting, hypnosis, more specifically, ways to manifest. Probably I want to do something where we can actually teach them how to incorporate some of these things now. So
yeah, like some basic manifesting habits, some basic good habits to help you manifest things, because the formula for manifesting anything is always the same. It's just the desired outcome is different, and you're either going to have more or less resistance to that outcome. So your job in the manifestation process is to get rid of your resistance by either coming to a place of acceptance, working through your emotions, doing hypnosis, like whatever it is. There's always going to be blockages, and it's only your job to ask for what you want and then let the universe give it to you. So we're going to help you guys do that.
Look, nobody is too special for manifesting. This works on everybody. Seriously, everybody has the power to do these things and to realize, and you've manifested your life already. Like, where you are today is a direct result of what you were aligned with. You take responsibility for the bad, you take the credit for the good stuff. It's an all or nothing kind of thing. So you're already doing it. These are just ways to direct that intention and do it on purpose instead of by accident, right?
Yes, exactly. And can you tell the listeners where they can connect with us until next week?
Yeah, so you'll see links on the show page for our Facebooks, our Twitters, our Instagrams, and then, connect with us there. You can also email us as well, and hi.vibin.it@gmail.com. But yeah, there's tons and tons of ways. Just look on the show page. You'll see all the links there, and we look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I cannot wait till next week, where we get to talk to you more about all of this magic and being witches and living your life to the best of your ability. Yay.
Yay. And just remember to be easy on yourself and know that you're doing the best you can in any moment. And that's just going to be our closing statement for the end of the show. So we'll talk to you guys next week. Be sure to tune in. Until then, you can get in touch with us on social media. And yeah, have a great day.
See you later.